Welcome to ABC Interactive English. My name, of course, is Winnie. My name is Winnie.
Sorry, what?
Matt, were you even listening to me?
Yeah, of course. I always listen when you talk to me.
What did I say?
Something, I don't know, you were winning something or...
Matt, we're talking about introducing ourselves because, you know, that's kind of how we start the show.
Oh, hi, I'm Matt.
You messed it all up.
Well, I was doing my best to listen to you as you talk about things.
Okay, well, I think today's episode will help you become an even better listener.
Really? I don't even think that's possible.
Okay, well, I think you need some improvement. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about how can we build our character. And one of those ways is to help you listen, be a better listener.
Oh.
So that people like your friends can feel appreciated.
Okay, well, I'm already pretty good, so I don't know if I can get any better, but maybe you can. So today we're going to look at our article called Ways to Help You Listen to Understand, Part 1.
When someone is speaking, are you already planning your answer? If you are, then you're listening to respond. Good listeners don't do that. Instead, they listen to understand. Good listeners practice active listening. They put aside their own thoughts and feelings. That way, they can focus on the speaker's words, body language, and tone of voice.
Hello everyone. Today we are looking at an article called Ways to Help You Listen to Understand, and today we're looking at Part 1.
Let's get started. Okay, so when someone is speaking, are you already planning your answer? Okay, so I know I kind of gave you a little trouble at the beginning, but I have to admit, I do this a lot. I'm kind of already predicting or already knowing what the other person is saying, and then therefore I have my answer ready to go.
Well, you're getting ready. Yeah, you're getting ready to give your answer. So you want to prepare a bit, be ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are, then you're listening to respond. Okay, so we have a word there which is to respond, and respond is to reply or say something back to what another person has said. So if it's a question, then when you respond, you will give your answer to that question.
Right.
Or you could just be, giving a reaction or a comment in response to what the person has said.
Right, that's usually how we have a conversation. Continuing on, good listeners don't do that. Instead, they listen to understand. This is something that I think I could learn from. So we have this word listener, which I'm sure many of you know because within the word listener, we have the verb to listen. And that means that is when someone hears you or someone else speak and they listen to what they are saying when they talk. So you could also listen to music, for example. So someone who is a listener is already hearing what someone is saying or listening to a song, maybe.
That's right. So it has that ER ending, which shows that it's someone who does something, someone who is a listener listens, someone who's a soccer player plays soccer, someone who's a worker works. Continuing with our article, good listeners practice active listening. They put aside their own thoughts and feelings.
For example, whenever you're talking, to show that I'm listening, I could probably nod my head or give a or a yeah. But yeah, so I think that's a very good piece of advice.
And so they put aside their own thoughts and feelings. So to put something aside, in this case of putting it aside in your mind, means to forget or to not think about something at the time. So in this case, you may have your own feelings about what the other person is saying, but really you want to listen to what they are saying and not think about your own feelings towards what the person is doing or saying.
You can almost kind of ignore your own inner voice. Yeah, so continuing on, that way they can focus on the speaker's words, body language, and tone of voice. And so just like we had the word listener, now we have the word speaker. And that is someone who is saying something and talking. So they are speaking, which is our verb to speak. So usually when you have a listener, that means there's probably also a speaker.
But don't get confused because there's also an object called a speaker, which is something that puts out sound or makes sound louder. So if you're listening to music on the radio, you're probably hearing it through a speaker.
Right.
Okay, so we have another word there, which is tone. Tone is the pitch, whether high or low. But when we talk about tone of voice, we're talking about how your voice puts out feeling or gives feeling for what you're saying.
Right.
So, for example, if Winnie tells me something and I say, oh, cool.
Oh, then I probably would think you don't feel that it's cool.
Right, so I can change my tone and be like, oh, cool.
Yes, exactly. It gives that attitude, right? So you could also say the same sentence like, oh, I got my test results back, or I got my test results back. So it's very different. Those are two different meanings.
Right. Your tone of voice has a lot of meaning in it. And when people are talking, you really need to listen to someone's tone to know their real meaning. And sometimes that gets lost these days with people sending text messages because you lose the tone. So sometimes you might get confused, like if someone says, I got my test results.
Or we need to talk.
Right.
Yikes, I hate getting that one from my mom.
Okay, well, that's it for now. We need to take a break and we'll see you after this.
Also, good listeners show that they're really interested. They look the speaker in the eye. Then, to keep the speaker talking, they don't stay silent. They nod or say things like, okay, or I see.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were learning some tips on how to be a good listener. And one of those ways is to be an active listener. And that means that you're not just listening to respond to someone, but you are listening and putting aside your own feelings so that you can pay attention to their body language, the way they're speaking, and their tone of voice to really hear what they are saying.
Yes. Okay, so let's get started again. Also, good listeners show that they're really interested. They look the speaker in the eye. So a lot of the times when I see I'm having a conversation with someone, and if they're looking at their phone, I probably know that they're not really into the conversation. But we have this word, interested, okay? And that basically means when you show concern and want to learn more about a subject. You're interested in something. So you kind of want to know more. So when you're having a conversation, if one person is really interested in hearing more, they want to keep the conversation going and really hear what the person has to say.
So continuing with our article, then to keep the speaker talking, they don't stay silent. Okay, so silent means without sound or without noise or sound or making any sounds.
Right.
So if someone stays silent, that means that that person is not talking. They're not giving sounds to let you know they're listening, like, oh.
Yeah.
These are not, talking per se, but they are sounds that let someone know that you are interested with what they're saying.
Right. They're reacting.
Yeah. So if you just stay silent, sometimes the person doesn't even know if you're listening at all because you might be just thinking about something else in your own world, in your head, and you're not letting the person know that you're hearing the words that they're saying.
Or if you even understand what they're saying. So if you're kind of active listening and you're not staying silent, that lets me know that you know what I'm saying is, you understand what I'm saying. And on top of that, we can continue on with the article. They nod or say things like, okay, or I see. And this is, I think everyone can do this because, you know, when we're saying don't stay silent, we're not also saying like, oh, wow, really? Because that kind of interrupts the flow of the conversation. But giving a nod or saying short words can really help. So what is a nod? It is our verb, and it's the action of moving your head up and down, usually to show an understanding or the word yes, even in this action. So when we have, for example, no, we would shake our head, but when we're meaning yes, we usually go up and down.
Yeah, so that's how we often show agreement as well. So when you ask, you know, is this okay? And someone says, or yes, you know that the nod of the head means yes. But that's also a cultural thing because in some cultures, the head nods or shakes can mean different things.
Yeah.
So I know that in India, when you shake your head side to side, it can mean I agree, much like how we nod our head in North America.
Or it could be a neutral statement.
That's right.
So it could be good or bad.
That's true.
But yes, so generally when we are nodding our head up and down, it might not even mean yes per se. It could mean that, okay, I'm hearing you, I'm understanding what you're saying, but maybe I don't agree with you, but I'm just trying to show you that, okay, I'm hearing your point of view.
That is true.
Yeah.
So these noises and sounds and actions that you do when listening are just as important as actually listening because it allows the person you're talking to know that you are listening. And if you don't do these things, it would honestly be kind of strange to talk to someone who just sits there silently and doesn't react at all.
I think that's how you can tell the difference between an AI, a robot, versus a human. That's how you'll be able to tell. Because AI is getting so good, but you know, sometimes they forget to do more human actions like nodding or saying, Because so far, a lot of the Googles and the Siris, they don't really add the Yeah.
Okay, well, that is it for part 1, but we'll see you again next time when we get to part 2.
Bye.
When someone is speaking, are you already planning your answer? If you are, then you're listening to respond. Good listeners don't do that. Instead, they listen to understand. Good listeners practice active listening. They put aside their own thoughts and feelings. That way, they can focus on the speaker's words, body language, and tone of voice. Also, good listeners show that they're really interested. They look the speaker in the eye. Then, to keep the speaker talking, they don't stay silent. They nod or say things like, okay, or I see.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 speaker 名词说话者。The speaker on the radio has a pleasant voice. 收音机上那位说话的人声音很好听。Pleasant 指的就是令人愉快的。下一个单字 interested 形容词感兴趣的。Many people are interested in learning new languages. 许多人对于学习新语言感兴趣。下一个单字 silent 形容词沉默的。Karen was silent during the meeting. Karen 在会议中很沉默。最后一个单字 nod 动词点头。Bill nodded to show agreement. Bill 点头表示同意。Agreement 指的就是同意。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 put aside 撇开抛开，这是一个可以分开的动词片语。Aside 是副词，意思是到旁边，在旁边。我们来看看这个例句。Amy and Lisa put their arguments aside and became friends again. Amy 和 Lisa 抛开争执，重新成为朋友。Argument 指的就是争执。下一个文法 look somebody in the eye 直视某人的眼睛，这是一个固定用法。注意呢 I 在这里横用单数哦。我们来看看这个例句。Nina looked me in the eye and told me the truth. Nina 直视我的眼睛，告诉了我真相。最后一个文法 keep somebody 加上 VING， 让某人继续做某事。Keep 在这里指的是使维持某一种状态。我们来看看这个例句。It's not right to keep him waiting outside. 让他在外面等是不对的。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Whoa, Shane, are you really just sending out those products without doing any quality checks?
It's no big deal. I'm just trying to speed things up. Nobody's gonna notice.
That's playing with fire. If you get caught, you could lose your job.
Oh, come on. It's just a few items. Everybody cuts corners every now and then.
It isn't a small matter. If something goes wrong, we could face lawsuits and huge fines.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I should rethink things.
Yes.
All right, I'll do a better job.
See, look, you have to check. Hey everyone, today we're talking about the phrase play with fire.
Okay, imagine you're playing with fire. Ouch! That would be dangerous, and you could get hurt, right?
Right. So when we say someone is playing with fire, we mean that they're engaging in risky behavior that could result in danger or trouble.
Right. For example, if someone drives without a seatbelt, they're playing with fire because they're putting themselves in danger.
Here's an example sentence. Driving after drinking is dangerous and illegal. You're just playing with fire.
You could also say he's playing with fire by getting involved in illegal activities. It's only a matter of time before he gets caught.
So it's best to avoid playing with fire and taking unnecessary risks. Always be cautious.
True. Stay safe and don't get burned. That's all for today.
Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.